Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia. On this channel I talk about my faith, my family, my personal experiences and everything in between. If this sounds like something you will be interested in, please do subscribe so that you are notified whenever I post a new video. On today's video I'll be talking about the things that helped us to transition in a different country. Before we arrived, we had talked about everything that we could talk about. And one of those things was we made the reality of the fact that we were coming to a different country, a new country where we had nobody. And so we had made up our minds that we were coming to start from the scratch, as it were. We had already talked about the fact that no matter the kind of job we see, whatever we could lay our hands on to do legally, we will do so that our family would be able to survive during the transition period. And so that helped us when we came, and really, the jobs that are readily available for people when they move to a new country are always the minimum wage jobs. So, for the fact that we had talked about this before we came, it was easy for us to accept the reality that we saw on ground. And like we had predicted, there were jobs like the warehouse jobs, the healthcare assistants. The minimum wage jobs are the jobs that are easily available for people who just arrive in a new country. And that was what happened. My husband got his first job in a factory, and my first job was as a healthcare assistant. And like I said in my previous video, we came to the UK as a student. I was a student doing my master, so I got my first part-time job as a healthcare assistant. I worked for 20 hours, and my husband got his first job the in a bakery, and that was his first job. And then he moved to a warehouse job, which he also did for some time, and then from there he moved to another job where he is currently on as a training mentor. But yes, we had agreed that we would be willing to do whatever job that comes our way so that our family is able to survive. And so when we came, we continued to act and work as a team, and we got to work. And that was one thing that helped us, because I know a lot of people struggle when they come to a new country, because they find it difficult to settle into the menial jobs that are readily available. It's not easy. I'm not saying it is an easy decision to make, to go from what you're used to something different. Not everybody has the capacity to do that. But one thing that helped us was preparing our minds to know that the situation may be different and that we should be willing to do whatever we found our hands to do. And that really helped us. And whatever income we made from those minimum wage jobs was what sustained us. And to be honest, the good thing about the Western world is that whatever labor you find your hands to do, whether it is minimum wage job, every labor is dignified here. Everybody that works and is able to manage their finances well can live off of the minimum wage salary. So that's one good thing about living in the West. So yes, that was the first thing, making up our minds to do whatever job we found readily available. The second thing that helped us to transition well was to learn how to be contented with whatever we had at the moment. So when we came, of course, funds were limited. We had a lot of things that we had to do with money. We were still paying my school fees, and of course with other bills on top of it. So we learned how to manage our finances together as a couple. My husband and I, we've always maintained a single account, and we continued that way when we came here, and it really helped. It continued to help us because when your finances are together, there is a little or no wastage of funds. It helps you to plan together, it helps you to curb excesses, and it helps you to live within the means of what you have. So that was one thing that also helped us in our transition, making sure that our finances were accounted for in the same purse. The third thing that helped us to transition well was being understanding of each other in that situation. Why did I say so? When you move to a different country, it is a different ball game entirely. You are faced with different challenges, and we all react differently to challenging situations. So being able to understand each other and cheer each other on when one person is down, the other person is there to encourage and to help the other person back on. And so yeah, we were each other's support system. It is very important that as a couple you work together as a team to support yourselves during those difficult transition periods. And those were the things that we did that helped us to transition well in a new country. So just for recap, the first thing we did was to make up our minds to do whatever jobs were available at the time. And secondly, we made sure that we manage our finances together in order to curb waste. And thirdly, we made sure that we were each other's support system so that we were able to encourage one another when we felt like the journey was becoming tough. We were there for each other to keep encouraging ourselves, to keep moving forward, and reminding ourselves why we made the move in the first place. So, those were the three things we did that helped us to transition well in a different country. If you recently moved to a new country, what did you do that helped you to transition? Please leave it in the comment section and I will be reading your experiences as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.